Oh god, we got an Alexander Rusev squash match in the middle of this. His fucking valet Lana is one of the hottest women on the planet. Fuck, she's beautiful. Anyway, match was over in 10 seconds. He was facing off against Xavier Rhodes. Match is over in 10 seconds, but R-Truth interferes, and Woods and Truth actually get the better of Rusev the first time that's happened since he appeared on Raw. It actually makes Truth and Woods look strong going into their handicap match against Rusev at Extreme Rules. I'm kind of on the fence about Alexander Rusev right now. He's another monster heel. He's another big, scary, doesn't talk dude who
What's
just
the name?
destroys people. Alexander Rusev. Rusev. He was big in NXT and he's moved up to the main roster. But big Bulgarian brute. I think the Bulgarian brute is what they call him. And like I said, we've seen so many monster heels come and go.
Huge.
Oh yeah, dude's big. Dude's athletic and dude's powerful too. He's actually. The problem is I haven't seen him in a match longer than about 3 minutes to be able to attest to his in-ring ability. He's just had squash matches, so I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of in wait and see mode. Monster heels can work. Monster heels cannot work. Just kind of depends on how they're booked.
Ryback, he actually debuted as a monster face that the minute he turned heel was the minute his career pretty much ended in Rybacksel.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not really ended. They're fucking fighting for the tag belts. I don't think they'll take them off the Usos.
They're not gonna.
Because they won them between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. So, I don't remember when, but they took them off the Rhodes Brothers, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so right now I think, anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of, monster heels can work, monster faces can work, monster wrestlers can work. It just depends on how well they're booked. Kane, Undertaker, Big Show, fucking Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, completely different era, but same thing. Big, huge guys can work. Kevin Nash.
Great Khali for a while.
Khali for a while.
When he debuted, he was going strong. He fucking annihilated everybody in his path. He, I believe at one point was the World Heavyweight Champion until Batista took it from him.
The only problem with Khali is he ended up turning into the comedy gimmick. He ended up dancing and partnering with Santino Marella, which thank God we were spared this week. God, dude, yeah. All I know is you've missed Raw the past couple weeks. You have been spared the Santino Marella, Emma shit that's been going on. Apparently Fandango and what's her name? Lena? Layla. Thank you. Layla. Fandango and Layla. Summer Rae's off filming a movie. So Layla is now Fandango's new dancing partner, and they're feuding with Santino Marella and Emma from NXT. The Bubbles weird arm chick. She does weird motions with her hands. You were spared that this week, thank God. But so yeah, I'm interested to see how Rusev turns out. R-Truth and Woods actually looked kind of like a threat maybe going into Sunday, but we'll have to see. John Cena's Make-A-Wish segment. I said, damn it, why does he have to be such a good person? Another reason it's hard for him to turn heel. Yeah, pretty much. Big segment about him fulfilling wishes for the kids in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. 3 of those kids were at the show, so that was a touching moment, and it kind of goes back to why it's hard to turn Cena heel in this day and age. So, backstage we have an interview with Rob Van Dam. They say Rob Van Dam's won the Intercontinental title 6 times. Rob Van Dam's go, 7's my lucky number, and does the shoulder pointing. He's fucking stoned as hell, I swear to God.
Damn.
Yeah, the whole effing show. Zeb actually approaches RVD, saying that we have a common enemy in Cesaro and Paul Heyman, and RVD tells him to go fuck himself. So up next we have Los Matadores versus Drew McIntyre and Heath Slater. The only interesting thing about this match is Hornswoggle and El Torino. They're having a WLC match. Yes, you heard me correctly. WEELC match at Extreme Rules. This is quite possibly the greatest thing I've ever heard, and I am so excited. I might be excited for that more than any other match on the card. But yeah, no, literally the only reason we're having this match is for Hornswoggle and Torino to try and get at each other to, kind of build the feud that's going on. And dude, they had a match a couple weeks on SmackDown. Really good. Really good.
I'm surprised Hornswoggle is still around.
Yeah, man. He's with the 3-man band, so they're the 3.5-man band now. But yeah, dude, Torino can fucking wrestle. That guy can go. But yeah, I said that 3MB and the Matadores are barely ahead of Sandow and Jobber Hell because they're literally only there so we have a reason for Torino and Hornswoggle to be on camera. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm really excited for the WELC match. I hope it's step ladders, all that shit. It's going to be fantastic, Mike. I'm so excited.
Yeah, can't say that I share your excitement.
Dude, you gotta. It's going to be great. Love midget wrestling. Sorry, little people wrestling. My apologies. Next segment. Stephanie McMahon apologizing to Dee Bry. As many of you, anybody who knows what's going on in wrestling and some of you who don't, Daniel Bryan's father passed away last week. Hence why he got his ass kicked at the very beginning of Raw and was carted off so he could go be with his family. He was actually given the option to skip that Raw and this one and basically just not be seen again until Sunday for Extreme Rules. But Daniel Bryan, being Daniel Bryan, the most motherfucking dedicated dude I've seen in a while, shows up this week. Shut up. Anyway, I don't like John Cena, therefore I don't remember any of the good things he does. But no, I said put man is dedicated. So he comes out. So actually Stephanie comes out, talks a bunch of shit about how she's, she didn't mean for this to happen. She can't control Kane. She wants to apologize to Daniel. Daniel and Brie come out, top of the stage. I like it that they're not trying to cover up the fact that Brie and Bryan got married. It just, it helps. It just, there's no reason to right now. Also, it could be setting up a Brie versus Stephanie match, which would be awesome considering that Stephanie wasn't a half-bad wrestler back in the day. Stephanie actually sounds convincing with the whole I'm sorry, I didn't mean this stuff. And to show how sorry she is, she says Brie is going to get a shot at Paige's Divas title right here on Raw. And she also just happens to mention, along with the shots that we've been getting throughout the night of a panning camera over Kane's mask locked in a glass case, Stephanie just happens to mention that Kane's mask is locked away in her office the Demon has put back in the box. Of course, after Brie heads to the ring for her match, we get a panning shot of an empty glass box. So, fucking way to be subtle, WWE.
We don't have anything planned with Kane. Nothing at all.
Right, of course. Nothing at all. Brie Bella versus Paige for the Divas title. Of course, Paige is already set to fight Tamina for the belt at Extreme Rules. So obviously, funny business will go awry. Paige looks strong and is one of the better wrestlers in the Diva era that I've seen. She's good. Very good. When you watch somebody who's good at wrestling or wrestles well, I do know English, I swear. When you watch somebody who wrestles well, you just know you're watching somebody who knows what they're doing versus watching, and I hate to say it, but watching some of the other divas wrestle. She's just a higher quality of wrestler than the other divas. Granted, Brie Bella and Nikki Bella are actually pretty good in themselves.
Are you hating on my Beth Phoenix? Does she even wrestle anymore?
Beth Phoenix is pretty good. No, God, she's not even around anymore. But yeah, and Beth Phoenix wasn't too bad, but she kind of had the size thing going for her. Paige really doesn't have the size. She's just really pale and from London, or from England, not London, but she's from England, so she's got the accent and she's hot and she can wrestle, and I'm getting excited.
Calm down, Caleb.
So we're getting through the match, and Kane comes up from under the ring, like we didn't see that coming, and tries to get Brie. Looks like he's trying to pull her down, as the announcers would tell you, straight to hell. But Bryan grabs a wrench and clocks him with it. Kane sits up and chokeslams him, and tries to go after Brie again, but Brie and Bryan both roll out. Considering that this match only had about 2 weeks of build, this week and last week, I'm actually kind of interested. The whole Kane demon being tied to the mask kind of thing, and finally getting rid of Corporate Kane, I'm actually kind of interested. This feud, like I said, only had 2 weeks of build, so it's not that great, but it'll do. Because obviously they're not going to take the belts off Bryan at fucking Extreme Rules to Kane of all people. So
calm down there. Let's remember back in Attitude Era, Kane was once a WWE champion.
Oh no, I'm not harping on Kane's ability. It's more
would Kane take the title? Hell no.
No.
But is it a possibility? And does he have the skill? Yes.
Oh yeah, no, Kane is a completely competent wrestler. He's like we talked Kane up at the beginning of the show. But it's not. I mean, fuck, they ended Taker's streak. They can do anything the hell they want to. Only they know what they're gonna do. My opinion is that it's not the right time, not the right person. So take for that what you will. But we will see Kane and Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now we're at the part of the show that I'm pissed about. And I've seen stuff on Squared Circle that made me less pissed, but my initial reaction was pissed. Whatever her name is in the back goes and knocks on John Cena's door saying, John Cena is now ready to give an interview. John Cena comes out, and John Cena proceeds to cut classic John Cena promo. Jokes, 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 laugh, laugh, laugh. I'ma kick your ass. Peace out. And my initial reaction was, oh my god, he literally just killed the entire first segment of the show. He completely went Super Cena in a promo.
Let's not forget when actually, I don't know if you were watching around this time, but John Cena and, well, the WWE in general pretty much rubbed it in everybody's face that John Cena was going to win a Royal Rumble, and he did.
Yeah, no, I remember that. A lot of people have said the reason it was so classic Cena was because Cena's actually afraid of Bray Wyatt and is trying to put up that false facade, the facade that we're all used to seeing from Cena, which makes sense. But at the same time, when my initial reaction is, son of a bitch, he just ruined the entire great opening of this show by, going back to his old ways. I don't know. But it does make sense that Cena is kind of hiding behind John Cena, if you will. He's hiding behind his persona of John Cena. But we'll just have to see. Since this is the last Cena segment, I guess we'll actually kind of give our opinions about the match on Sunday. I think Bray goes over at Extreme Rules. I don't know if he needs to, because I think at Extreme Rules, I think he only needs to get Cena to do something out of character. Whereas Cena almost hit him with a chair at WrestleMania, I think Cena needs to win by dirty tactics, like a chair shot or something, for Bray to win, in quotes. Bray doesn't actually have to win the match. All he has to do is break Cena. So I'd like to say Bray would go over. I'd like to see him go over. But he doesn't need to, I don't think. We just can't have Super Cena fucking walk out of that cage. If he does that, then I don't know what the hell's going to happen. But I see this feud going to SummerSlam as well. I don't see this ending at Extreme Rules.
Depending on how the match turns out, whether Bray wins or Cena loses. I honestly think the only way this rivalry could go to SummerSlam is if Cena actually lost, because Cena would not take a loss. He's Super Cena.
Yeah, it's true. It would make that. I think so. I think Cena probably attempts some form of heel-esque tricks, maybe a chair shot or something like that.
I'm not even
but
sure with
maybe
like
still
heel-esque.
loses.
I think this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna be Cena still manages to resist Bray, and Bray needed help in some way, and he got help in the match to take home the victory. And but they're still gonna be working to break John Cena.
Yeah. Well, you have to show some progression. I think obviously in the end of it, Cena comes out ahead because it's Cena. He's the role model for these kids that never give up no matter how dark things get. Yeah. But he has to get progressively darker. Yeah. But he has to get progressively darker. Like we have to see that Bray is pushing him towards the breaking point. Even if he comes back from the breaking point, say at SummerSlam, we have to see that Bray is working. What Bray is doing is working. And so we need to see that, which we saw some of Monday night, but also we got Super Cena promoed. So, whatever. I'm afraid I've got some bad news, Mike.
Barrett?
Bad news, Barrett versus Rob Van Dam for the number one contender shot for the IC belts. So, winner takes on Big E at Extreme Rules. Bad News Barrett comes out and cuts a promo. So enjoy Bad News Barrett. Dude's amazing on the microphone. He's like I said, he comes out, he's an asshole, complete asshole, and people still love him.
He was the leader of the Nexus.
And the Core.
Let's not mention the Core.
Let's not talk about the Core. But yeah, so I love Bad News Barrett. The dude's good. The dude's good in the ring. He's great in the ring. That bullhammer elbow looks like that would fucking hurt if he hit you with it. I expected funny business from Cesaro and or Swagger because RVD turned down Zeb and RVD beat Cesaro by countout last week to get into the IC number one contender shot match, and also kind of talk shit about Paul Heyman after that match last week. So I expected funny business, and Mike, funny business was had. WWE really trying to legitimize the IC belt, which is a good thing, and they should try that with the US title as well.
Not as long as it's around Dean Ambrose's shoulder.
Yeah, and that belt can stay there for as long as it likes. But we'll get to that, and we'll mark out over the Shield when we get there. Or I will. And I assume you will too. Not a terrible match, with Bad News Barrett winning with the bullhammer. But RVD just looks like he lost a step. Now, some people said this was a good match for RVD. His match last week against Cesaro was not good. It was sloppy. It felt sloppy to me. This match was a lot tighter. It was a lot more fluid, but it maybe feels like RVD is just not quite RVD anymore.
Well, you gotta realize how old the guy is. The fact that he can still do half the stuff he used to do is still very impressive.
I do. I have the utmost respect for RVD. I understand that he is an older gentleman now. It's just, it's one of those things where you're just like, they continue to push RVD and he continues to keep coming back. And he still puts on a good show, but it's just not quite, I don't know, it's not up to par, I guess. But still, anyway, Cesaro cost RVD the match, and then Swagger beats the hell out of both Rob and Cesaro, but Rob comes out on top and hit a 5-star on Cesaro. That was all after the match. So we actually might see a triple threat match at Extreme Rules between Cesaro, Swagger, and RVD. I don't know where that feud would go after that, but
sometimes we have short feuds.
True, we do have short feuds. I think Cesaro needs to move. Honestly, you want to put the U.S. title on anybody, put it on Cesaro.
If anything, it's going to become a unified thing, and we're just going to lose the United States Championship.
Which I'm also okay with. I'm okay with only having the three major belts, or the two major belts, I guess, or the major, the minor, and then the Divas title. But yeah, so could be interesting. Could be an interesting match. Cesaro always makes for good entertainment. Shield promo. So Dean Ambrose is fucking crazy. Possibly one too many light tubes to the head, but he oozes awesome. I have in my notes. Yes, folks, I just recently found out that Dean Ambrose, formerly known as Jon Moxley, used to wrestle in CZW and other independent promotions around the world. CZW famous for its Tournament of Death and Cage of Death shows, basically deathmatch wrestling. I'm a fan of deathmatch wrestling. I know a lot of people in Squared Circle and professional wrestling circles are not, but I am. So eat my shorts. That's all I'm going to say. Seth Rollins is a great talker, and Roman plays a perfect man of few words. These guys, I don't want these guys to ever break up.
Yet sadly they will.
They will. But fuck, they pushed out that break because a lot of people expected it to be a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Now, a lot of people say it was because Punk left, but a lot of people think it was just because people really fucking like the Shield. They love these guys together. They love the gimmick. All three of them are pretty good on the mic. Well, two of them are exceptional. One of them he doesn't talk a lot, but he plays the big silent type motherfucker perfectly. People say Roman Reigns is going to get mega pushed. Like, we're talking the Rock mega push.
See, I don't see Rock mega push, but I do see a decent sized push in that guy's future.
I guess people are really high on Roman Reigns. People are really high on Roman Reigns. But yeah, like those three guys together, they have amazing chemistry, and I never want them to break up. Sadly, I know they will, but I don't want them to. I put this note in because they showed it. Dean Ambrose has to defend the U.S. title in a 3-on-1 handicap match against Del Rio and Rybaxel on SmackDown. I have in my notes, will most likely drop to Del Rio. Wouldn't make sense for him to drop it to either of the members of Rybaxel. But we can cover that when we cover SmackDown. So, coming to the end of the show, we've got Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. Now, this is the thing. People have been talking about it all week, so it wasn't much of a surprise. Ric Flair returns to
Woo!
Woo! Not sure how he's still alive, but he's still wooing. I swear Flair is more drunk than RVD is stoned. Then I have in all capital letters, Swerve. Flair endorses the Shield. Now, granted, I think he endorsed the Shield because it was like about a 5-minute rambling about steak and partying, and there was a lot of bullshit.
Woo!
Yeah, there was a lot of woo. There was actually not a lot of woo. I was actually kind of depressed by the lack of woo. But Flair did indeed, before he left the ring, says, the Shield are the new Evolution. They're the new big dogs. This is their yard, as the announcers like to remind us. I have in my notes, Orton headbutts a Samoan and is fine. I call bullshit. Because we all know you can't headbutt a Samoan. Brawl breaks out on the outside of the ring. The Shield takes a beating. And at this point in the show, I actually had written in my notes that the Shield gets left laying again. Makes the Shield look weak going into Sunday. But I had jumped the gun. And the Shield rallied back, beat the shit out of Evolution. Reigns hits the spear on Triple H, and the Hounds chase Evolution off. And that's how the show closes, with Evolution standing tall. So, I jumped the gun on assuming that they were going to leave the Shield lying like they did last week. So, overall, not a bad go-home show. So, Mike, your thoughts on the final segment? Or the Shield and Evolution in general?
Pro Evolution.
So I guess that kind of wraps it up. We'll most likely do another episode about SmackDown. And then we'll hammer out when we're going to do the pay-per-view. An hour and... Actually, I'm actually impressed that we only went about an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah, you're expecting 2 hours.
I was expecting a fucking long time. I expected a really long discussion. But we actually kept it pretty trimmed. It helped that I was the only one who watched the episode and Mike was working off of my notes. So, but not his fault. He didn't watch the episode, so don't blame him. follow us on Twitter, Players Code Podcast. Um, check out the YouTube channel, Players Code, just Players Code. Also, I'm gonna do some. They're gonna get free advertising. WWE Network, $10 a month, access to all the pay-per-views. That's right, current pay-per-views. That's how I'm watching Extreme Rules this Sunday. Access to current pay-per-views and a vast catalog of past shows and pay-per-views, including WCW pay-per-views and ECW pay-per-views. $10 a month, like I said, great deal. You can get the app on your phone. You can get it on your Xbox 360, now just released recently, the Xbox One, iPads, all that shit. So if you're a wrestling fan and want to watch some old stuff, go get that. Also, r/squared circle for the discussions and all that shit. And so yeah, thanks for listening. Hope to see you again next episode. Mike, any parting thoughts?
You're all bitches.
Mike's still mad about Big E probably dropping the belt to Barrett. All right, folks. Thanks for listening.